Squatting laws may have made it much harder for the average not-so-legal occupant to lay claim to property or land, but one tenacious squatter has managed to hang on to their place in the Palace of Westminster with no signs of being evicted anytime soon. Yes, Nadine Dorries has become Westminster's most wanted. In June, Dorries bombastically resigned as an MP. She was acting in protest after the results of a Privileges Committee investigation saw Boris Johnson also step down as an MP. But Johnson's resignation had an immediate effect. A by-election for his seat has been held and won by the Conservatives. Boris Johnson is no longer an MP. But Dorries has still not formally resigned. And yet, accusations of the Mid-Bedfordshire MP being missing in action existed long before she initially said that she'd be leaving the job. This was a Guardian headline from June. Nadine Dorries has completely given up on job as MP long before announcing exit. And from the article, Dorries last spoke in the Commons in July last year and has voted only 6 times so far this year. While she's a prolific Twitter user, she has barely mentioned any local issues on her feed at all this year, focusing mainly on Johnson and the show she presents on Talk TV. She does not list the address of a constituency office on her website or parliamentary page. Some local people say her last known office in the town of Shefford was closed down and is now a dance studio. It's not known if or when she undertakes constituency surgeries, or if those constituency surgeries are done alongside Zumba classes. Further from the article, it has previously been reported that Dorries' main home is in the Cotswolds. One television source says she has previously appeared on camera from this home and asked to be cited as being in London, which was refused. Dorries has also said she also has an address in her constituency, but it's not known if this is still the case, and if so, how much time she spends there. Dorries' colleagues appear to have given up on her. This was Rishi Sunak being asked about the missing MP on LBC in early August.
Nathan says, what should happen to an MP who doesn't speak in Parliament in over a year and takes 2 months to officially resign? I think he might be talking about your colleague Nadine Dorries, who hasn't spoken since July of last year.
Yeah, look,
your view of Nadine?
Yeah, I think people deserve to have an MP that represents them wherever they are, and it's just making sure that your MP is engaging with you, representing you, whether that's speaking in Parliament or being present in their constituencies, doing surgeries, answering your letters. That's a job of an MP, and all MPs should be held to that standard.
So she's failing in that, isn't she?
Well, at the moment, people aren't being properly represented.
For Education Secretary Gillian Keegan, Dorries' absenteeism seems to be a full-blown joke.
Today in Mid-Bedfordshire, I have my bounty hunter, reporter Henry Riley, desperately seeking Dorries. She hasn't been seen for some time. When did you last see your parliamentary colleague Nadine Dorries?
I don't know when I last saw her, but she did send me. She did an article in one of the papers where she'd talked about education. So she did send me a copy of that not that long ago. But you probably see on the telly, I guess now, don't you?
I think you do on some of the channels. You do.
And maybe if I go back to Liverpool, I might see her hanging around Scotland Road.
There you go. If we go up to TWT, we'll go on the hunt for Nadine Dorries. But there's already been a bounty hunter looking for her, as Ferrari referred to. LBC sent senior reporter Henry Riley to Flitwick to track down the errant MP.
We've gone to great lengths to try and find Nadine Dorries. Not only was I out annoying locals in the pubs and shops of Flitwick yesterday evening, as you mentioned, we have a very big advert in the local paper. This is the Bedford Times and Citizen, just for the benefit of your listeners. Wanted, have you seen this woman? This is Nadine Dorries, a picture of Nadine Dorries. I don't think it was the last sighting of her, with a number to call you. So, Nick, you may well get calls from the good folk of Flitwick telling you if they have seen her. And not only that, we have posters, it's upside down, we have posters for lampposts as well. They're going up on bus stops, lampposts. We are determined to find Nadine Dorries. If anyone has spotted her, please do let us know.
Beyond the jokes, though, Dorries could now be facing an investigation into her failure to follow through on her resignation. Campaign group Unlock Democracy have called for an inquiry into Dorries' absence while enjoying a full MP's 84k salary. The group commissioned an opinion survey on Dorries' delay in quitting. It found over half of the 2,000 people surveyed thought her actions, or lack of them, had damaged Parliament's reputation. And I just want to add something that while we've been on air, a news story has gone up on The Guardian, which says pressure mounts on Nadine Dorries as second council calls for her to quit. Sheffield Council, along with the town of Flitwick Council, have both said she needs to go. Ash, how on earth has Nadine Dorries become the UK's most successful squatter?
I would say congratulations, Nadine Dorries, for running a really successful one-woman trial of UBI. I mean, she's absolutely making bank while doing nothing. But jokes aside, I think what this does is that it points towards some of the real weaknesses in our constitution, which is our constitution was drafted on the good chap theory of democracy, which is if everyone generally acts like a good chap, then it's going to run fine. Now, of course, people don't always act like good chaps. In fact, they didn't act like good chaps when our constitution was being developed, but most of that bad chap behavior was going in the colonies. So, they didn't want to think about that much. But now you've got, a cadre of self-serving, egomaniacal bastards occupying Parliament who have driven a coach and horses through this code of self-regulation, which was once praised as the height and sophistication of all of the world's constitutional democracies, and we can do nothing about it. Absolutely do nothing about it. Perhaps if there was a recall petition circulated, though I think that it might need specific circumstances in which that can happen, you could have an MP like Nadine Dorries being properly held to account. But right now, she's got absolutely no real leverage that could be used against her to force her to either step down or adequately represent her constituents. And I think that it sort of speaks to something quite gross about the pantomime and theatre of our democracy that is treated like a bit of a joke, like, oh, where's Nadine Dorries? Oh, I've not seen her for ages, ha ha ha. That we actually don't expect better of politicians. We've got no expectation that politicians are going to do a good job in representing us or our interests. So it can kind of become a bit of like, what are they all like? And I think that's because expectations have been systematically lowered by politicians outsourcing more and more of their functions to the market. Oh, the economy, that's in the hands of the market. Public services, that's in the hands of the market. Wages, that's in the hands of the market. And they operate as sort of glorified pundits. So, in a way, she's like, well, I'm still on TV. I'm still trying to make sure that my profile is sufficiently high. I'm still writing articles. That's all people expect of their politicians at best anyway.